Hey y'all, little drummer boy here, and I hope you're doing well. I had a great day. It was in the mid 80s here in North Carolina, and I went and kicked in the lake for about a mile. The water was cold, 72 degrees. I was huffing and puffing when I first got in there. It took my breath, and I was glad to get out, but I had a great day, and I hope you did too. But today, I'm getting ready to do MAGA good news, and it's going to be short and sweet this week because, as you know, there's not a lot of great news out there, but we need to highlight and be positive as we can, and we need to highlight the good things that are going on. All right, so let's get started. First of all, on March 30th, the United States Navy ship the USS or the USNS Comfort arrives in New York Harbor. It sailed up from Norfolk Naval Base and it went to New York Harbor to initially be used for people that didn't have the Wuhan virus. They were just, in the hospital for other reasons. It was making additional space. But because of the shutdown, people weren't having car wrecks. They weren't, having motorcycle accidents. There weren't as many shootings. And so they didn't need the space like they thought. And they actually started using the comfort for the Wuhan patients. And also another one, I can't remember the name of it, but another one sailed up from the Navy Pacific Fleet at San Diego to LA. So there's one out there in Los Angeles too, to help the people there. On March 31st, Tuesday, March 31st, Governor Cuomo, however you say his name, I can't stand the dude. He voted for, he signed a bill allowing babies to be aborted up to the second of birth. I mean, he's as bad as Hitler, in my opinion. And I'm sure Jesus said people that hurt children, it'd be better if they had a millstone tied around their necks and be tossed into the sea. So I'm sure that Cuomo has a millstone and sea with his name on it, unless he repents. But anyway, as rabid a Democrat as he is, he said that President Trump was doing a great job and was being very helpful. Thursday, April 2nd, Catholics for Trump was launched. So shout out to our Catholic brothers and sisters and everybody in the faith community that is supporting President Trump. If you believe the Bible, how could you support a Democrat? I don't understand. How can you support abortion? All the things they stand for on social issues, they are diametrically opposed to the Bible. And so it doesn't even make sense that a person of faith, or even if you're Muslim or Orthodox Jew and you believe the Torah, how could you vote Democrat? It just doesn't make sense. They're and if you're a practicing Catholic, the Catholic Church, I disagree with them on a lot of doctrines, but one thing they're great on, the Catholic Church leads the way in the fight for life. And there's a lot of liberal Catholics out there, but if you're a true practicing devout Catholic, there's no way you can vote Democrat. It's just you're voting against yourself and everything you believe. On Monday, April 5th, now this is really cool. Democrat representative from Detroit, State Representative Karen Whitsett, a black lady, praised President Trump for saving her life with the malaria drug. That's right. She was about to die, her and her husband, and she asked her doctor to try that malaria drug. Mosquitoes after me. There was a breeze out here. I was hoping I wouldn't have to deal with mosquitoes tonight. But anyway, I love President Trump, right to try. He's been right to try with drugs all along. Like if you're dying, if you're a terminal patient, why not let them experiment? I mean, you're going to die anyway, so at least give the folks a fighting chance, right? A sporting chance. So he always did right to try to let people try experimental drugs if they were terminal. So why shouldn't everybody that has the Wuhan virus have the opportunity to take this malaria drug? And she said when she took it, within a few hours, she was healed. I mean, it's like a miraculous drug, but the Democrats and their fake news propaganda machine, poison Kool-Aid machine, they don't want this drug because let's face it, folks, they want this thing to last right through November and the election. That's what this panic's all about. H1N1 under Obama killed 17,000 people. The flu this year in 2020 already has killed, I think, something like 22,000 Americans. The 1918 flu pandemic, which killed my great-grandfather, Charles Luther Spence, nothing shut down for these. So, to me, the virus is very real, but the shutdown is 100% dirty devil crap politics to take down the best economy in history in an election year because they can't beat the president. They can't beat this very successful president, especially with the crap candidates they put up. Crazy commie Bernie, he dropped out today, and fill him up quid pro Joe Biden. He used to be funny, but now it's not anymore because some of us have loved ones who, have suffered from dementia or Alzheimer's, and it's obvious Joe Biden is in the early stages of dementia. He's getting where he can't even put a cogent sentence together, and this is going to be their nominee. They were desperate, y'all, and if you notice, this happened right at the end of the impeachment. When their impeachment coup failed, boom, all of a sudden, coronavirus, Wuhan virus, came to America. So let that sink in. The virus is real. I have my suspicions about the Harvard professor. I'm sure he's probably a Democrat who got paid over $1 million to set up the lab in Wuhan, China. And I've got my suspicions about the Chinese, because the Chinese and the Democrats are Marxist comrades, and they both want Trump gone. So I have a lot of deep suspicions for how this virus started. And the timing stinks, y'all. If you think this timing isn't coincidental, then, I've got oceanfront property on the Cherokee Reservation beside Pocahontas Warren's teepee to sell you. Wake up, people. Look at the time of the year, and everything just a month ago was selling so smoothly, and the Democrats knew they had to derail the Trump train, and coronavirus was it. So we'll find out one of these days, but I think the very timing of it stinks, and I think there was plenty of motive on the part of the Chinese and the Democrats to unleash this virus now. And the panic is even if the virus was an accident, the panic is 100% political, because this has never happened. This shutdown of America has never happened for any virus before. 1918 was way worse. H1N1, it's approaching the number of deaths of H1N1, 17,000, but nothing shut down then. The fake news, they all praised their Messiah, Barack Obama, for what a great job he was doing nothing, probably playing golf while all those people died. But anyway, so it's really cool that we got a black Democrat was saved by the malaria drug that Trump touted. He said, I bet she'll be voting for me now. She credits Trump with saving her life. So to me, that was the highlight of the MAGA good news this week. And on Palm Sunday, I love that the president is watching church. Most people, my church, we're still meeting. We're having outdoor church, weather permitting. It's looking like rain for Easter, and that really sucks because we were going to have Easter sunrise service. I'm going to pray that we, get a break in the clouds and can still do it. But it's supposed to be very rainy here in North Carolina over Easter. But, we've still been doing our outdoor worship service. Everybody stays spaced. Every family stays at least 6, more like 10 feet apart. And it was despicable that pastor was arrested in Florida. And I'm just so saddened that so many Christians actually took up for that crap. First of all, an order by the governor is not a law passed by the legislature. It's not a binding law. It's not even worth the paper it's written on. Now, if we have martial law, then they can tell us what to do. But until martial law is declared, that order, he might as well use it for toilet paper since it's in short supply. And there's never been a law against church attendance or preaching or having church in America. And there better never, ever be, because this country was founded on freedom of religion. And kudos, I can't remember his name right now, but kudos to that preacher. If anybody has the faith to have church in the middle of all this, they should not be punished for it. It's none of the government's business that people want to meet for church. And DeSantis, the governor of Florida, you're a Republican. Shame on you. Those cops are going to have to answer to God. President Washington probably would have hung them. Jefferson would have too. Madison. It's so disheartening. They've seen how easy we'll cave now. The Democrats have been wanting to ban church and freedom of speech for years. They just arrested people in Charlotte, abortion protesters in Charlotte for protesting, not obeying the order. Abortion somehow is considered essential. Killing babies is essential when church isn't. But these protesters go down to Charlotte, and there's some arrested in Greensboro too. But the ones in Charlotte, they arrested them. In Greensboro, they got them for gathering in a group bigger than 10. And again, there's no law in North Carolina about protesting or stay-at-home order. There's no stay-at-home law. There's no law about being in groups bigger than 10. Girl Boy Roy's order is not a law. But anyway, they arrested these guys, these protesters, at an abortion mill in Charlotte. And these cops have taken a vow to uphold the Constitution, but yet they go down there and instead of arresting the people killing children inside the freaking abortion mill, they arrest the protesters for Girl Boy Roy's order. Whew, man, God's going to get them for aiding and abetting the murder of children. Hell's going to be hot, y'all. I'd hate, they better turn before they burn, because court's not going to be fun for them. It's going to be one day in court those cops are not going to like when they face the real Supreme Court. But I mean, but it's breaking my heart, y'all, that we are letting our freedoms be taken away so easily. And if this is a test run, like some of us believe it could be, I don't know for sure, but if it's a test run, oh my gosh, they see how easy we are to fold, because Christians and conservatives, Republicans, we have respect for law and order in general, and so, you know, and we're so trusting. Why are people still trusting the fake news media after 3 years of them trying to run an active coup against our president? And they've been caught lying so much. Professional media, they should have to have a professional license, just like truckers, lawyers, doctors, nurses. Every profession that's professional. Even NASCAR, they have to have a professional NASCAR license to drive on those tracks. Now, most sports you don't have to, but most professions that are considered professional, you have to have a professional license that holds you accountable. I had a professional trucking license, and I'm not trucking right now because I also have an alcohol problem, and I don't have that CDL right now, and it makes me sad. You know, I wish I could be out there making good money, helping during this time of crisis, but I can't. But, you know, God's in control. He knows what's best for all of us. But anyway, the point is, I did things that were wrong, and I lost my license. I lost my privilege to drive a truck, and I'm accountable for that. But the media should have a license too, and if they get caught lying, they need to be held accountable. They are destroying this country, and they're throwing elections. If they get caught lying, they need to have their license pulled, or they need to be punished for it. Freedom of the press should only be as if the press is fair. If they're caught lying, they should be able to be sued for slander, you know? Because, I mean, freedom of the press is destroying our country. They should only be free as long as they're legit and fair. You know, as long as they're telling the truth. Now, they can be biased. That's fine. Everybody has their biases. Well, true press isn't supposed to be biased. They're supposed to, like Fox, you know, we report, you decide. This video is longer than I thought it was going to be. I wound up preaching. But anyway, there's just so much crap going on. And you know the old saying, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention, man. We are losing. In the last month, I don't recognize this country anymore. I'm almost 50. I've never seen anything like this in my 50 years. And we are losing our freedoms. And if this is a test run, they just saw how easy we fold. They just saw how easy most of the churches fold. And oh, back on that note, that's what got me off on this tangent. President Trump watched Greg Laurie from his church in Riverside, California. He watched him online, and I'm greatly heartened that President Trump is watching church. He watched I think a black church the week before that online, and Greg Laurie is good friends of his, and I wish more preachers, prominent preachers like Stephen Furtick, would stand up on politics. And he's a great preacher on what he preaches, but some preachers don't want to get into the political issues. They don't want to preach the whole counsel of God. The Bible tells us to preach the whole counsel of God, even the tough stuff and the ugly stuff, like, thou shalt not kill, or thou shalt not commit murder, and things like that. The social issues. The modern church, I love the music, and there's some great preaching. Those guys have some great preachers, but they seem to be very politically correct, and that bothers me a lot. So, Stephen Furtick, I'm calling you out. Come out and make a stand with President Trump. Come out and make a stand for Jesus and God on social issues, especially like abortion. He did catch some flack one time because he said that homosexuality was a sin, and get this, the LGBTQ people in Charlotte didn't want Elevation Church volunteering in the schools because Stephen Furtick, believes the Bible and said that homosexuality is a sin, and so they didn't want him. They didn't want Elevation volunteering in the schools just because the pastor believed that. Like Rush said, liberals only like free speech when it agrees with them. And that's exactly what happened at those abortion clinics. The Democrats have been waiting for years to shut down church and years to shut down free speech that disagrees with them. And so Girl Boy Roy just made it where he can arrest abortion protesters now. But nobody else has been bothered, because let me tell you, I don't think many people are listening to his order from what I've seen when I've been out. But anyway, y'all, that's MAGA good news for this week. There wasn't much of it, so I had a few things I had to get off my chest. I really thought it'd be about a 5-minute video, but I went a little long, but I don't think I bored you. So anyway, and I'm not all redneck here with no shirt on underneath. I've actually got a tank top on here, just in case you're wondering. All right. I will talk to y'all later, and I hope you have a blessed day. And just say no to unconstitutional orders by the governor. Hallelujah and amen. Bye.